Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Attic Antics, School Edition. I'm here with my guest today.
Devin.
Who are you?
I'm Devin Gannay, the senior class president.
That is very cool. I'm doing my Nardwuar impression. Well, anyway, back to basics. So,
Yes.
I'm here to talk about stuff. One of those things being the incident that happened recently at California High School, the high school in which we both attend.
Yeah.
And so what happened, so basically a kid, a student in the leadership program, on Halloween posted a picture of dressed as a it's supposed to be a ghost costume, right? And then he just made the tip pointed and then posted it around.
From what I understand, it got sent out and then other people posted it. So it's not like he was trying to post it or
it got sent out. It
did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll start out. Why do you think other people sent it out? Did they think it was not okay?
Honestly, I have no idea. I think personally, you don't really know what to do in that type of situation.
Yeah.
And it really depends on each individual person's reaction to that. Some people could have saw it and thought, oh, that's a distasteful joke,
Absolutely.
And then some people could have, and then just, swiped off of it or whatever. But then there were probably some people that saw that and said, wow, that's a really distasteful joke. I don't think that should be, that's not okay. And then I don't know why people would want to post it on their stories or post, I don't understand that whole aspect, but I do understand the aspect of wanting to tell someone about it if you, genuinely feel that that's not okay, which I don't think it's okay either. But
Absolutely. So then now, knowing the situation, we know this kid was in leadership.
Correct.
So now bears the situation. How does this reflect on leadership?
Well, obviously very poorly. And there are arguments at first I remember hearing that there are arguments if it was the leadership class that was promoting this, and obviously
obviously not.
Obviously that's not true at all, and I don't even know how that starts. That a teacher
Rumors fly.
Yeah, exactly. So I think lost my train of thought for a second.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I think that it does reflect bad on leadership as is understandable,
Definitely.
Leadership student doing that, obviously it's going to catch people's eye and make people wonder, wow, what is this leadership program doing? But I don't think it's really reasonable to blame a whole program for one individual's actions.
Definitely.
Because that for sure does not represent all of leadership.
Absolutely.
If any of leadership. I don't think it defines any of us, right?
Totally.
Or that's not a part of any of us. It just one person's stupid actions,
So then we see how this reflects on leadership.
Right.
We see, we hear the comments that goes around, and we hear that people feel this student should be kicked out of leadership. So, do you mind informing us the process that surrounds someone getting kicked out of the leadership program?
Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure, extreme specifics, but I do know that under some rule somewhere district-wide, you cannot kick a student out of this program for basically any reason. And the only person that can make that decision is one person from our district that's in charge of something. it's nobody here at the school specifically that can do anything about it. So when
no advisor decision goes into this at all.
No. And like there was no advisor, there was no admin, there was no decision made by anyone here at the school that could have affected that, like they could personally affect the outcome of them leaving or not leaving.
Mm-hmm.
They can't do anything about it. So what a person has to do if they're being asked by multiple people to leave is they have to decide themselves if they are going to leave or stay. And in this particular situation, the person decided it would be the smart idea to drop the program and like retire his position.
So in your mind, given that that's such a hard decision to make, what does that make you feel? Like if putting yourself in that person's shoes, how does that like impact you?
Well, I think it's I think it was for sure the right thing to do after doing such a wrong. I think that they knew that was the better choice, and probably not the better choice for themselves personally, but the better choice for the program as a whole, the whole leadership program, and for the school itself to try to make amends to what has happened. And so I think it is pretty what's the word, adult, I guess. Mature. You could say mature. Yes, it's very mature of the person.
I agree. I think it's very
to realize that the better decision would probably be to step down from leadership. It's a super hard decision. Like I don't know many people that would do that.
I fully agree. So, when looking at how an advisor handles this type of situation, in your opinion, how do you feel it was handled?
I think it's extremely difficult from an advisor's perspective, especially learning about all those extra rules that I did not originally know about before, like the whole they can't kick someone out. Like I thought that they were able to.
That is pretty shocking to me.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know about that before today.
So that's why it was like they didn't step down because they had to. They stepped down because they realized they
chose.
Should.
Yes.
Yeah. And they chose to.
I think that's important.
So I think from administration, it's just super difficult not being able to have that control. And obviously it's a super hard situation to deal with as an advisor, having a student that you know doing an action that you disagree with.
How well did the advisor know this kid?
Been in the class for 3 years. So basically all the teachers only been here for 2.5 years. So knows the student fairly well.
Definitely, yeah.
And as well as a teacher could know a student that they've had in their class for a couple years, you know. And so I think that also was hard for the advisor to even have this happen, especially in the program. But I agree with most of the things our advisor did. For example, having these meetings with us, with the leadership students, with BSU, with Latinx, just with as many people that could be involved with this situation as possible, having genuine conversations about what's right, what's wrong, what's like appropriate, what's not appropriate, re-updating our what's it called? Our code of conduct. So I think in like the sense of an advisor overall, they did as well of a job as they could have.
Not good, not bad.
Yeah. It's hard because they had so little that they could do.
Yes.
So it really is like there's not a whole lot. I think that obviously people say that there could have been better meetings. There could have been more.
Let's talk about those meetings for a second.
Yeah.
Because the meetings, I feel, are very important in preserving the campus culture.
Yeah.
So you were at the meetings?
I was only able to go to one of them, or two of them, because one was directed to my class specifically.
Definitely.
And one was directed to the leadership class and to BSU.
So thinking about those meetings and witnessing the conversations that ensued.
Yeah.
How do you feel the meeting? What impact do you think that the meetings had on campus culture?
Well, obviously there's that. After a situation that happens like this happens, there's that divide that instantly happens, between
Definitely.
the one who was doing the incident and those affected by it.
Mm-hmm.
And so the one who's doing an incident happened to be a leadership student. So then people automatically assume it's all of leadership, right? So then at this point it becomes leadership versus people who were affected by this, which is the whole school, but more specifically in this case too, BSU was very vocal about their stance on it, and how they thought it was wrong, obviously, like why it was wrong, all their things. So then it became this almost leadership versus BSU, even though I don't think anyone wants that to happen, because I know it's not split that way in reality, and it shouldn't be split that way in conversation or anything else. We're all on the same side. I think that making those like boundaries and differences separates us more. And
Cooper, please come to the front office. Officer Cooper, please come to the front office.
Yeah. And so I think while I was at those meetings, I noticed that divide. And it was just hard obviously it's hard for anyone to be a part of that. But it's hard for me as a leadership student to sit there and to be agreeing with what the other side is saying, but the other side not. And I don't even want to call them the other side, because
it's like we're a school.
We're all and like we're like I agree, like I understand every point they brought up, like and I can truly never really understand some of the points that they bring up, because I will never be in their shoes in some of those situations. So it's like when I'm trying to understand, right, and I am genuinely listening and I want to fix the problem that has happened, I don't appreciate it when other people don't have that mutual respect. And I got a lot of vibes of that from both leadership and BSU and from anyone that was in that room.
To each other?
Yeah.
Damn.
It was
That's hard.
Whenever a leadership student started speaking, I would see eye rolling and just like total lack of
So let me
understanding.
ask you this.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? And like more of like what caused that such a divide and such a lack of mutual respect?
I think it's a lack of understanding, and it's a lack of wanting to understand, I think that what happened was obviously BSU feels attacked, as does anyone.
Yeah.
So then they come and voice their differences and thoughts on this to leadership and to the rest of the program.
Did it feel their concerns were in an attacking sort of way, or did it feel more of a demand for action?
For sure, a demand for action, which is like that's what anyone wants, a demand. I think everyone in that room wanted something to happen. They wanted that demand of action. But in some, I would say it's just some individuals in that group, in both groups, in everyone, don't want to attack it from the understanding and all that, and not demand for action, but they take it from hatred and pointing guilt and what was the word that you said? Not demand for action.
Lack of demand for action or attacking.
Yeah. Just attacking. Like it comes off like that's from certain people when they aren't willing to show the understanding, you know?
Absolutely.
Like, I think that anything can sound like an attack, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're truly willing to sit there and listen and understand and have an open mind, then it's not attacking. You're asking for a call of action because you're willing to listen to what anyone else has to say. You're not set in your own mind for your one path. You're willing to listen to all these other ideas and things that happen that affect this. And I think everyone should be doing that. Leadership kids were in there that should have been more understanding and more, I think, less narrow-minded. And I think the same thing for some students from the BSU. I think some of them came in there more narrow-minded and with hatred more than trying to find trying to make things good. It's like they only wanted to highlight the bad things. But that doesn't get us anywhere.
Absolutely. I see that a lot in American politics too, you know. That is very wise, Devin.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I really appreciate you taking the time to talk about this, to address this. I hope people, when they listen to this, approach this from a point of positivity and not hatred.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that there's value that everyone can find in positivity, and I really appreciate your attitude towards this.
Yeah.
I think we can at that we can wrap it up.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me on.
Alrighty. Take care.